I may title this video, A Thin Line Between Female Friendships and Romance. And I will use the example of two beautiful young ladies, the singer and actress Ariana Grande, and also another beautiful singer and actress, Cynthia Erivo. And this video message is actually a video request from one of my subscribers, and you may feel free to shout yourself out in the comment section if you want to. And I believe that my subscriber had a great topic request, and she wanted me to cover my lesbian perspective about female friendships and women who love women romance and how the lines are blurred. And I think that that's a wonderful topic to discuss and address. And I did my research on the relationship between Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo. And when I say relationship, I'm not inferring that they are romantically inclined. I just mean relationship. It could be a friendship or it could be a romance. But I'm going to discuss my thoughts, and I'm also going to elaborate on the title that I'm giving this video message, A Thin Line Between Female Friendships and Romance. Do I really believe there is a thin line between female friendships and romance? Do I think that women can cross the line between being friends and being romantically involved? Well, I have my own thoughts, and I'm going to share that with you through this video message. I am Giselle Wallace, certified gay life coach and author, and I do provide my lesbian perspective. Thank you for tuning in today. Make sure you subscribe and like and share this video. Thank you. I did some research, and I'm going to share with you a quick little story. I remember when the movie Wicked came out, and my brother actually invited me to go see the movie Wicked with a couple of my nieces. Actually, 3 of my nieces. And I turned it down. I said, no, I don't want to reserve any tickets. We were going to go to see it because it came out, I believe it was around Thanksgiving time of 2024. And I was like, no, because I thought it was a scary movie. And I am not a fan of scary movies, horrors. I'm a little scary, so I do not look at horror movies or scary movies at all. And my brother laughed and he said, it's not a scary movie, it's a musical. And I said, okay, well, let me think about it. And I ended up hearing from my nieces, and they really wanted me to go. And I was like, are you sure it's not a scary movie? Because I don't watch scary movies. And they know this, and they just thought it was so funny. They just laugh at me because my nieces love horror movies. They're into that kind of stuff. And when they were younger, they used to like watching the horror movies, and they wanted me to watch them with them. And they would just get a kick out of me getting freaked out looking at scary movies. I would just be a mess. And I was like, okay, so am I going to be able to spend the night? Because, see, I don't want to go home by myself because I just looked at this scary movie. I'm not going to be able to go to sleep. So they know the history of me not liking scary movies. So they thought it was just hilarious that I thought Wicked was a scary movie. But it turned out I waited too long to get the tickets to go see the movie with them. And they caught they caught like the last one of that night. Like it was going on into the morning time. And I was kind of tired anyway. So I never ended up going to go see Wicked, but I did hear about it. I knew about Ariana Grande. As a matter of fact, one of my nieces, that's like her favorite singer. But Cynthia Erivo, I did not know much about her. And so I was doing some research on her. I learned some things. And let's just say I went to a very reliable source to get the tea on Cynthia Erivo. And what I mean by the tea is I wanted to know what her sexual orientation is. And I also wanted to know what Ariana Grande's sexual orientation is. And the reason why is because, well, there's so many rumors flirting around about their relationship. People want to know, are they just friends or are they lovers? But people are asking the same thing, just in different ways. They're just like, I noticed they're not really asking them out up front. They're like, so, y'all are really affectionate. You hold each other's hands quite often. What is really going on? And I'm like, people are just afraid to just ask people, are y'all together? I think it's interesting because this doesn't usually happen in the heteronormative world, like with heterosexual people. They just, ask you out front. But I think when it comes to same-sex relationships and it's in a media space, meaning like these are interviews that they were conducting. They did a lot of marketing for the film of Wicked. And so I did my research on a few interviews, and they were really good interviews. But in every interview, the person that hosted the interview always seemed kind of timid, or they weren't very direct in their questioning about the relationship between Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo. So I found that to be interesting. And I think it has a lot to do with the way we live in this world that doesn't focus on women's sexuality. In heterosexual spaces, you don't ever see anybody nervous about asking a celebrity or a couple, are y'all together? It's just like, boom, they just get straight to the point. But when it came to Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande's interviews, it was always like some nervousness about asking them about the details of their relationship. And I really think it's because people are not very direct, or they're not sure how to approach asking two women if they are together romantically. And that is very interesting because it pretty much proves what I often discuss and coach my women clients about when it comes to their sexuality. We are not given spaces to really talk about our experiences as women who love women. And if we ourselves are not given those spaces, then people from the outside really don't know how to address those conversations or how to introduce those conversations. So people are just kind of tiptoeing around it. And that's what I saw with the whole Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande media interviews. I did watch their body language. There's a lot of eye contact, a lot of touching. There's holding of hands. There's rubbing of shoulders and arms. They are very intimate with each other. And I think that they have a very unique relationship. This relationship that they share, I haven't seen it so obviously presented in the media before in this way, because it's very delicate, it's very sensual, it's quiet, it's peaceful, it's sweet, it's loving. I think they have a very beautiful relationship together. And I thoroughly enjoyed watching their interactions and listening to them discuss what it was like to film Wicked and how it really impacted and changed their life. And from my understanding, them working together on the film Wicked actually established their relationship. They became very close. And ever since then, it's like you see one, you see the other. There was an interview with Cynthia Erivo where this man, he was tiptoeing around. He just was like, y'all hold hands a lot. And Cynthia Erivo, I think she handled herself very well in the interview. He said, y'all seem to always start crying together in interviews. Why is that? And Cynthia did answer, and she explained, well, a lot of times what you're seeing is editing of the interviews where you don't see behind the scenes what's going on. So she mentioned that there's a lot of people who are like fans, maybe people in the public who may see them on set, or they may see them out and about, and they're very excited to see them. They're emotional. They're expressing how Wicked really changed their life and how they love how they perform their roles in the film. Cynthia was mentioning that many times the fans are overwhelmed with emotion and they're crying. And she said that it moves me. I become emotional and I begin to cry because I see how I'm really influencing and impacting so many people's lives. And she says that me and Ariana, we're just being human. And I thought that was really powerful for her to say that. She said, we're just being human. And I love that. I love their vulnerability together. I love how they're emotional, they're expressing themselves. And I 100% agree, they're just being human. And you're getting to see something that's very rare on TV or in the film about their relationship. Two women who are just lovable and they love each other. Do I think that their relationship goes beyond just a platonic friendship? I wouldn't be surprised if they are involved, but I want to be careful to make that conclusion. And the reason why is because I learned that Cynthia Erivo is dating Lena Waithe. She is a Black woman. She's a director of The Chi. So I understand that they're dating. So if they're dating, Cynthia Erivo is dating the director of The Chi, who is a Black woman. She's a lesbian woman. Well, that already tells you that Cynthia Erivo is a same-sex attracted woman. And if she's already in a relationship with another woman, then that means she can't be with Ariana Grande unless it's some type of open relationship that they have not disclosed to the public. There's even video footage or pictures of showing Ariana Grande holding hands with Cynthia Erivo while Cynthia Erivo is with her girlfriend at like games or whatnot. People just dance around. They don't really directly address relationships between women. But you know what I do notice that they address is what they call bromance. And that's like BRO-MANCE, meaning brotherly friendship that people say is so knitted together, like they're so connected, they bond so well as two men that it's borderline a romance. So they'll address bromance between two males or two men where there's two guys who are just so close in their friendship together that it's borderline viewed as a romantic relationship. But when it comes to women, you never hear any type of verbiage like that. They never associate two females being friends as being more than just friends. And I believe that's because the majority of the world views women as being heterosexual women. They don't really consider that women have different sexual orientations. To confirm what I do know and understand is that Cynthia Erivo identifies as a bisexual woman. So she is bisexual. However, when I researched about Ariana Grande, she has made a statement that she is attracted to both males and females, but she says she does not label herself. But in some contexts, they say that she's referring to, she views her attraction to both males and females as equal, or that she views males and females as equal. And, when the public hears this, because they don't really know much about female sexuality, they'll say, oh, she's just basically saying that she views men and women as equals, but it has nothing to do with her being sexually attracted to women. I saw some commentary on it, and it just confirms to me that the world still is not quite ready to deal with sexuality when it comes to women or females. And I think it's very important to create safe spaces for women to be able to express themselves and have these conversations as same-sex attracted women, because we exist. And even if the world wants to turn a blind eye to it, if they want to fabricate stories, if they want to make assumptions and always end up concluding with women are heterosexual, they may fool around, but it's just a phase. That is because that's what they want to think. But the truth is the truth. There are women who are romantically and sexually attracted to women. To address my question earlier, which is my title, a thin line between female friendships and romance. Do I think there's a thin line? I believe that sexual orientation is ingrained. I believe that sexual orientation is complex. And I also believe that sexual orientation is not to be placed in a box. Nothing is black or white. There are variations and diversity and complexity in sexual orientation. And being attracted to someone can be revealed in many ways. There's different levels of attraction. But ultimately, I believe that sexual orientation is known to the person based off of their own experience. And sometimes sexual orientation can be, I would describe it as being suppressed because we live in a heteronormative society. But because your sexual orientation is ingrained, it's who you are. At some point in life, your sexual orientation will present itself, because there's going to be a woman who comes around in your life and you won't be able to deny your attraction to her. And it's not just going to be platonic. It's not just going to be based on a friendship. When you are a woman who loves women, there is going to be a woman who you are going to want to be romantically connected to. And there's going to be a woman who you are going to want to be sexually connected to, because you are a same-sex attracted woman. And that's just the reality. I don't think that there's a thin line between female friendships and female romance, because I think you can have both. I think that it's important to be friends with the woman who you are romantically inclined to be attracted to. And I think that friendship is important. Friendship can be twofold. I'm just going to say that there are platonic friendships and there are romantic and sexual friendships. But what separates the attraction between just a platonic friendship and a romantic or sexual friendship is sex. If you are sexually attracted to a person, that's what makes the friendship distinct from the other. Because you can be friends with someone and have no sexual attraction in that person, no romantic inclination for them, and it's just very much so a friendship. It's very much so platonic. But you can be friends with someone and also be romantic and sexual with that person. It's either one or the other. Sexual orientation for women varies. So, for example, you may be heterosexual. If you are heterosexual, then you're only going to have friendships with women on a platonic level. But if you are a lesbian, you can be friends with a woman and it can be platonic. But when you're attracted to a woman, that friendship can become romantic and or sexual. And likewise, when you are a bisexual woman or a pansexual woman or a demisexual woman or an asexual woman and you're same-sex attracted, you can be friends with another woman or a female and it can be strictly platonic. But if you are attracted to that woman or that female romantically and or sexually, then that's when the relationship changes. That's what makes the distinction between the friendship. So you're only going to be with someone or be drawn to someone who you are platonically attracted to or romantically and or sexually attracted to. And in every case, you can be friends with that person. Matter of fact, I think it's good for you to be friends. I'm going to show a little footage of what I saw, and you draw your conclusion. I think that Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo have something very beautiful that they share with each other, and I think they kind of want to keep their relationship private from the public in a sense. Even though they're very much in the public, they still, I think they're managing their relationship pretty good. And I think that's important because there should be a level of privacy, especially when you are a celebrity and you're famous or well known, because there's vultures out there. There's people who just want to know too much about you and their intention is not necessarily for your good. And sometimes you just need that connection to be between the two of you as women. After all, it's all about your relationship together, not you and everybody else being involved in what you have together as a couple or a friendship. Thank you for tuning in. I am Giselle Wallace, certified gay life coach and author. Subscribe, like, and share this video, and have a loving day.
I think at one point in all of our lives, we've all wanted to basically conceal part of us that we'd rather not have or feel embarrassed about. For me, that's been mental health struggles, it's been living with epilepsy. And Cynthia, you have said that you had to claim the beauty of your queerness. What do you think young Cynthia could have learned from Elphaba?
That she was all right as she was, that the things that she was keeping to herself were special, and that they only made her more her. I'm glad I've come to it now, though. You know, I'm glad that I had a journey to it because I feel like I can own it fully, which I feel really proud of.
So beautiful.